How's it, everybody? Gabe here from the Hawaii Institute of Self-Reliance, his survival. Welcome back. Mahalo for watching. Today's video is about my EDC, my haversack, which is this, satchel, or don't call it a man purse. It's a haversack. These have been used for centuries, actually longer than that, quite a long time actually. Probably, cavemen were using something similar to this with wicker and bark cordage or something, you know what I mean? This is a German Army 1995 haversack, and I'm just out in the jungle taking a walk, and I wanted to complete my EDC video series a couple months ago. I did a EDC video, and that was what is on my belt, what's in my pocket, and I left out my bag. So this video is what's in my bag, and I will provide a link to that video, the EDC video that I did earlier this year, and I hope you check that out. Stay tuned for this one. Here's the contents of my haversack. First, it's a German Army surplus mid-90s haversack in camo. I kind of wish it was in a solid color, but not a big deal. I bought it off eBay for $15. It's in really good condition, and it's tough. It's got some waterproofing, and it's fairly comfortable. I'm very happy with that purchase off of eBay for $15. And this Tonto, the cold steel Tonto machete, is not something I would normally carry. I would probably carry a machete that's a little bit more traditional style. This is just going to be reviewed in an upcoming video, and I wanted to hike around with it and play with it and see how well it handles doing some jungle work. Now, this isn't a set EDC. This is a typical EDC for everyday carry. Now, I will change it up if, let's say, I go fishing. I'll add some fishing gear, or if I go to the beach, I'll add a bigger towel with some board shorts, stuff like that. So let's start off with the core, what I would pretty much always have in my haversack EDC pack. First would be a water bottle, a clean can, 40 ounce, non-insulated stainless steel water bottle. I drink about 40 ounces in a day of water, so that's perfect. You could maybe stretch it 2 to 3 days if you were in a dire situation. I can boil water in this. I can cook a soup in it, so it's very useful. And I'm always have a water bottle in the jungle as an EDC. I will always have that. Next up would be a poncho. This is my Snug Pack Patrol Poncho. I just recently did a review of this, and I'll provide a link in the description box so you can check that out. It's a pretty cool video. And then I will almost always have a Shemagh. This is a solid color one. That's the kind I prefer. It can be a tourniquet, it can be a bandage, it can be a sling, it can cover your face or your body from the sun, it can protect you from bugs, it can be a towel, it can be a blanket, it can be a pillow. It's not extremely big, but it works perfect. So I will always have this. And in the jungle, it doesn't get that cold, so even if this cotton Shemagh gets wet, it's not going to be a big deal. Sometimes that'll be kind of nice, because it's so hot in the jungle if this was wet. And sometimes I'll wet it intentionally if it's really hot. Next up would be a survival kit. I pretty much always have I would consider this like a medium-sized to large-size survival kit. This is my one Tigris admin pouch. I have a fishing kit, sewing kit, bandages, salt, wound seal, chewing gum, flashlight, matches, ferrocerium rod, dry tinder, cordage, an extra knife, a scalpel, map, compass, water tablets, purifying tablets, and then a water purifier, And geez, quite a bit of other. Oh, I have an Inner C, one of those energy drinks that you add to water. It gives you vitamins and energy in there. Geez, I have all sorts of stuff in here. Next up would be a folding saw. I might not always take a folding saw, but if I want to make a camp or start a fire, I'll usually take a folding saw on a hike or just have it with me all the time. Just, keep it in the bag and have it in my truck. And, at work I might need it. I might go down to the beach and hang out. You never know. So that's a very useful item. Besides like a machete, I would most likely have a machete on me over a saw. But, it's very useful and it's light. So I carry an EDC saw sometimes. Now this is a Silky Pocket Boy 170. And I just did a review of that folding saw, and I'll provide a link in the description to that video. Next up would be some food. This is just a fig bar. I might have a Cliff Bar, some raisins, some dates, some trail mix, something like that. Maybe a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, peanut butter and honey sandwich, or something like that. Not a whole lot of food. I don't really need to carry a whole lot of food because in the jungle, pretty much year round, you can forage all sorts of vegetables and fruits. And, if I'm by the beach, I can get seafood. So I don't really have to have a whole lot of food in my EDC bag, my haversack. Now, this is just for, a couple hours. And if I was in a dire straits scenario with these items, I could live very comfortably for a very long time and make it extremely comfortable. If I was to be stranded for a week or something, with knowledge in these items, I can be pretty comfortable in the jungle. I have a ranger band. It's very useful. I can make a sling out of this. I can do all sorts of stuff. And a space blanket. Now that could be a signal. I can gather water with that. I can use that as a shelter. It doesn't really get that cold, but it's pretty nice. You notice I don't really have a tarp. I could make a shelter, kind of make a shelter out of the poncho. And yeah, so there you go. That is my typical EDC haversack for the jungle. And like I said, it could change, depending on what I'm going to do that day. If I go down to the beach and I go fishing, I'll probably have a fishing kit, and I won't rely on my survival fishing kit, right? Yeah, so there you go. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of the sling bags. Sometimes they're a little, awkward, right? But I do prefer them over backpacks sometimes. Now, I honestly prefer a backpack majority of the time because you can, keep the weight, more controlled. This, you don't really have a whole lot of control of the weight, and if you have a lot of weight in it, like I kind of have a lot of weight in here, water and this silly wakasashi, again, I just added this for fun. I don't really necessarily EDC this like all the time. I'm testing this blade, so I wanted to carry it around on a jungle hike. Now, like I was saying, I prefer backpacks because you can control the weight, but then again, you're gonna have all that layer, more layers on your back, so you get hot and sweaty. So this is great for like, going to the beach or going fishing or something where you're not gonna have to hike a whole, 10 miles or something. You're gonna hike maybe a couple miles or something, and you don't really need a whole bunch of gear. So these are great for, just, your simple hikes, fishing trip, beach trip, EDC. You can keep this in your truck or in your car.
fairly easy, and you can carry it to your work or whatever, and it's not a huge item. It's not bulky. It's not too bad. Now I would say if you were to go like in the city or something, you probably want something that's not military. You want like a gray color, like a gray man, or like a solid color, or something that's not so army looking. In the jungle and in the country, no one cares. I was actually talking about this on Facebook. Now we were talking about like the gray man theory. Now what that is you're just trying to blend in to your environment. Well, one of their main things is you don't want to look tactical. You don't want to have camouflage on, right? You don't want to have a camouflage haversack or a camouflage backpack or something. Well, in the jungle or in the country where I live, it's normal. Everybody there's lots of hunters. You see guys with full camo, walking around with a knife and their dogs in the back of their truck. They're going hunting, or fishermen, or just normal people just hanging out and they got camo on. It's just fine. In the country, there is a difference. But like I was saying, if you're in the city or in more of a crowded environment, you might not want to wear camo because it's not necessarily blending in. It's actually kind of standing out. But anyway, I want to wrap this video up right here. I don't always carry the wakizashi, or I'm just testing it out. And yeah, this is pretty much what I would carry, standard every day. Like I was saying, I might switch it up with fishing gear, or something else like a big beach towel or something, or board shorts or whatever, right? Or some snorkel gear or whatever, right? But for the most part, this is what I carry in my haversack. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this video up right here. I thank you for the like. Please comment. I love all your comments. I'll answer any of your questions that I can answer. I'm getting flooded with a lot of comments, and I'm really enjoying the interaction between creator and viewer. That's awesome. You guys are really fun to interact with. And mash that bell symbol to get notifications for when I upload a video, and make sure you subscribe for further content. And until next time, aloha!